Hi guys, I think it's the time for another video about communication, and I didn't record communications videos. I feel like it was ages, it was few weeks, but I feel like I didn't do it for over like 6 months or something, which is not true. Today's video will be slightly different. It will be for traveling people, if you're going on holidays abroad, or I don't know, if you're visiting some country, maybe not for holidays but for different issues, which reasons, not issues, reasons why you need to go there. So I want to show you how I manage when I don't know certain language when we go somewhere, and how I try to communicate with locals. And if you are interested in this topic, how to manage language even if you don't know it, watching. Welcome guys, it's Nicole Termin and we are here together to communicate your way to success. And in today's video I would like to share with you what you can do if you don't know the language and you go to another country and you need to cope with it and you need to try to communicate with people. So the first and the most important for me, before you go, I don't know, you go to Peru, to Mexico, to some, I don't know, Spanish-speaking country, to prepare yourself, have your some little dictionary with you, or check few like the most useful words in this language, or if you want to say, I don't know, if you need to order something on the stuff, write it somewhere so it is with you so you can even read it. So that would be my first before your trip, before you go somewhere. Even people asking me here, because I speak fluently Polish, because I'm Polish, but I can speak in English as well. And many people has this language barrier. When they go somewhere, they are afraid they will say something wrongly. And this is something what you really need to work on. And I always say to people, if you are afraid of speaking in English or any other language, think that you speak in Polish and that's your superpower. And you don't need to be perfect in it. And to be honest, the one people who always correct my English is just Polish people. I didn't have it from other nationality. I didn't have it never from English person. At least I ask them to correct me, which I do every single time. But mostly people who are correcting me is Polish people, and I think that's something what we have nationally, that we need to feel we do something perfect. But it doesn't matter, because even English people here, they don't speak perfect, and sometimes they speak in a way and they don't know why they say this way, not another way. So I wouldn't worry about that. If you can communicate in any way, that's okay, and just keep trying, and you will fail many times, but that's your learning, isn't it? So I would say, if you have this barrier, try to think, like I always take the method with, I have this with Spanish, so I did learn Spanish long time, I didn't use it such a long time, and when we were on holidays, when you are in Peru or Mexico, almost no one speaks English there, so you need to speak in Spanish, or you need to try to speak somehow. So my way was always first with the taxi drivers, because it was always the first people which we've seen when we left, I don't know, the airport or the bus or wherever we are traveling. And I was always doing like 3 seconds method. So I was like, okay, what I want to ask this person. So when it was taxi driver, I always ask simple questions like, what's their name? And I was doing 1, 2, 3, try to ask him what his name, or her, depend who was driving. And even if my questions were not right, they try always to help me to understand me. And they always try to, even if they say many words which I couldn't understand, I said like, I didn't understand, could you try to help me with understanding? And they always try to go different way to show you what they really mean. And most people, in terms of showing the language and helping you understand them, they are quite helpful, so you shouldn't be afraid of it. So 1, 2, 3 method always works for me, and I use it over last trip all the time when I was afraid of asking something. And it was just, you don't think that you need to do it, you're just doing it straight away. So maybe that will be something what you can try to use. And that's in the case, like if you are like me, that you knew some parts of the language but you didn't use it, and it just was kind of refresher for you, and you could kind of have a conversation. The second part, what I always do, even if I don't speak any language, I try to speak to people, even if we need to show each other, or even if we need to use the phone for translation. I try to speak with locals, so I don't need to use English. most of these people, mostly time when I talk to them, they don't know English. So I try to be focused not on relying on English fully. I try to even show them, use my phone, I don't know, draw something if I need to, use the body language, and always be really, really open. Don't take, like, if you are more open to people, they will be more open to you. They will want to be more helpful for you. And that's what you need to focus, to be out there, to really get to know these people and really try to talk to them and really be interested in them. So many times I use the phone if I have the Wi-Fi or if I have some internet connection. Google Translator is going really often, and we sometimes record the messages which are straight away translated to different language which I can understand, and this is how the conversation is going. And always, if I can barely speak with people, I try to learn from them certain words in their local language, because we know it's like official language, and it's in the end later we use slang as well, a lot of slang which maybe I could use even in this video. And when they teach me this slang, and even if I know one word and later I go to different group of people, when I know this one word, it's way helpful because they see you really want. And I think it's all about this really, really wanting to get to know people. And the best possible way of you learning the language is using the language. I didn't learn English well at all. Like, I did speak a bit of English, but it was crap when I was in Poland, because even when you have the teachers, even if you study, even if you learn grammar, words and everything, you're not able to fully speak and think in this language because you think in Polish. Now people ask me, so in which language do I think? And I would say it depends. Now I'm thinking in English recording this video, but maybe later I will talk to my husband and I will switch for Polish. And I don't control when I'm switching anymore. And that's what you want to achieve in any language which you are studying, which you are learning, to try to think in this language, to feel this language in your head all the time. And it's gonna happen with the time. It's not gonna be easy, but it will happen at some point. And to be honest, when we are now in Peru and Mexico, when we landed there, it was for me so hard even order coffee or something in Spanish. It was like almost impossible because straight away English came in. But when we were leaving, it was way easier for me to speak, to understand. I could understand almost everything, which was quite weird, and I even didn't expect it myself. But I think more languages, it's getting easier and easier as well. So all is ending up to trying and to be open, and it's always main rule, as I always say in communication, even if you're speaking abroad and speaking with foreigners, is main rule in communication is listening. So as much you listen, as much you learn about people, about language, about the culture. And that's what it's the most important for me when I'm traveling, for me when I don't know how to speak in certain language and I try to understand. So always be open for people, try to listen as much as you can, try to understand. And don't be afraid if you don't understand, because it's always two-way. So I hope this video was useful, and when you will go through your next travel, you won't be afraid of trying, of like finding your best way to communicate with others, of learning as well. And don't use just this time to go and rely on the language which you know. Try to learn something different, because you never know when that would be useful. So thank you very much, guys, for this time with me, and let me know when you're traveling next and if you will try method 1, 2, 3 speak, if that's something which is coming to your mind as, oh, I want to really use it. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you.